This question comes from Jennifer from Albuquerque, New Mexico, who writes, spell check. You should clean up your language, Jennifer. Spell check doesn't do its job. It doesn't catch my mistakes, and my teachers are docking points. What should I do? Well, it's likely because your spell check isn't configured correctly. Now, this video is going to explain how to set up your spell check the best way in order for you to catch the majority of the mistakes that your teachers are looking for. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to share my screen here. So I'm going to shrink my head down so you can see what I'm looking at. This is a simple 2-page document. You see some underlining in red and blue. You have a written narrative and you have references. So a simple, very simple paper here. Okay, and we're going to set up spell check. Now what they don't tell you is that spell check is set up for the average user, not the average student or the average professional, but the average user. That comes into play a lot because you're not average, you're quite a bit special. So we need to set it up a little bit special just for you, right? So what I want you to do is I want you to go to File, and then Options. So File and Options, and you go to Proofing. Now before we get started, you're going to be checking a lot of boxes. Don't get caught up in, oh my goodness, my whole paper is underlined in red and blue. Don't get caught up in that mentality. What I want you to do is when you see an error on your paper or something that's underlined, just double check it. Doesn't mean you're always going to have to change it. And I don't recommend that you do change everything or your paper is going to read very poorly. So don't change everything that it recommends. Just pay a little bit more extra attention to what it is telling you to change. And you'll see what I mean at the end of this video here. Okay, so the very first thing is you're going to show readability statistics. Now this is very important when we start working on the readability of a document, especially for professionals and students. Obviously you want this readability statistics. There's a lot of information that it goes into when you just click this little box, and you'll see it at the end. We're not going to explain what the readability statistics are in this video. That will be another video just because there's a lot to it. Whoops. So I clicked OK, but let me go back. Options. Proofing. Okay, you want to go down to grammar and refinements. Now it comes with grammar and refinements. You want the refinements, okay, because that gives you a lot more options. And under grammar, I want you to check everything. It doesn't come standard that it's the incorrect use of that. This actually becomes very important when we're dealing with unclear antecedents. You want to be able to have that marked so it can alert you with the incorrect use of that. Which, whom confusion? I'm still confused. Which, whom, who confusion, and whom confusion need to be checked. Now clarity, this is really important, and all of you in college and university and even in grade school, your teacher is going to be bugging you on passive voice, and they're going to say, fix your passive voice. Well, I don't know how to fix my passive voice because you don't really know what you're looking at, right? So click this passive voice and passive voice with unknown actor, and this is going to alert you on the places that it's obvious passive voice issues that you need to change to active voice. I always use jargon. Double negation's good. Simpler wording is for those pedantic people that like to use gigantic words when they really shouldn't. If you have an issue using very big words to make yourself seem smarter than what you are, then go ahead and click the simpler wording. Or if you like to use not big words and you know how to use them, it means your reader might not be able to actually understand what you're trying to say. So it's always good to put that. Okay, concisiveness, conjunction, overuse. Words expressing uncertainty. Those are important for academics as well. And same thing with opinion markers, informal language, and colloquial verb phrases. Now all this stuff, you could go ahead and do slang too. All this is very important with academic and professional writing. You're going to be writing a lot of opinion-based papers, but even in academia, you're not supposed to say, in my opinion, it's this, right? You're supposed to write in a way that's more persuasive than just saying, I think this, right? Okay, inclusiveness. This is new to spell check, or somewhat new to spell check. Depending on which country you live in, this section really is important, especially if you work for government or putting out a lot of information to the general public. I go ahead and I click all of these: age, culture, ethnic, gender specific language. It's going to mark, like if you write manhole, right, it's going to underline it and say, well, is that a sexist word because it's a manhole, or should it be a utility hole, right? That's the kind of gender specific language. The racial bias and sexual orientation bias. Go ahead and mark all of those. Resume, I leave everything blank for resume. I guess you could put vague quantifiers. I've never put that. Vocabulary, cliches, collective nouns. Local specific words is not that important. I don't think I've ever had it flag a local specific word. Same thing with region specific words. Vague adjectives, though, important. Vague and unnecessary adverbs is important, and weak verbs are all important to play. So go ahead and push OK. Then you're going to press OK. Okay, what we're going to do is now we're going to review it. Go to editor. Okay, I have 11 spelling mistakes, so I'm going to go through these. I'm not really paying attention. These are all spelling mistakes. There are 15. Coconino, caught, spine. Ignore that. Ignore. Private information, children. So it does good job. Now grammar. It also catches spacing. Oh, which brings me to my next point. Sorry, file, option, proofing. Settings, I think I already put that. Okay, so right here, space between sentences. Sorry, space between sentences. Go ahead and put one space. Now the two space where you click, that is old typewriter days that we never truly got out of it. But with Word processors like Microsoft Word, it's already formatted, so your space after a period is going to be a little bit bigger. They take into modern typography on how they format and how they configure Microsoft Word. Okay, so most spouses have. There, see, they haven't caught there versus there. That's important. Finally, so after finally, there's a comma. That's good. Each country has its own. Good. And capitalization, this one it shows that it's capitalized, and it's not supposed to be capitalized. True. Okay, so clarity. Let's see what's on clarity. So these are all, looks like passive voice ones. Be filed, be included. Is filed, be filed, been filed. Right? Those are all passive voice structures. Okay, punctuation and conventions. Okay, this is if your teacher requires a comma after, like a serial comma, go ahead and put the serial comma, right? It's going to flag it. We already had it flagged. Yeah, and you really should include a serial comma as well. I know there's going to be a lot of people that, no, don't include it. Yeah, you need to. And there's a lot of legal issues behind not using the serial comma, and we'll get into that in a different video. Private. So this is where it flags it for vocabulary. So private information. So is it going to sound better under confidential information or private information, right? So it's going to give you a little bit of different options. All awesome stuff. Okay, and then clarity. I think we missed one. Ignore. Okay, this is where it's going to pop up a little screen. This is your readability statistics. Now, we're not going to go over this. It tells you the word count. So if your teachers require word count, you can make sure you hit it. Paragraph sentences, the flesh reading ease, and the scale and the passive sentences. Now we're going to have a different video on readability statistics and how to make your document as easy to understand as possible. That will be later. So I hope you enjoyed this video. It's pretty quick and we covered a lot of information. If you have any questions, feel free to leave it in the comments section below. Also, if you're struggling with anything writing related and you need a little bit of help, please let me know in the comments below. I get a lot of the information or a lot of the ideas for these videos based on comments from YouTube and also from my current and former students. So if you're currently struggling, or if your teacher's haggling you about some concept that you don't quite understand, please leave a message and I will either answer or write a video as soon as I can. Thank you for watching.